And welcome, my fellow scout troopers, to a 5v3 third day's Reforged siege here today at Long Deer. Today's replay comes from John, one of the 5 attacking armies today, commanding the realm of Angmar. And so we'll just dive straight into the army comps. I think we'll just do that from now on. We've got here some Sniper Stalkers here, 2 units. We have 2 units here of Witron Pikemen here, not armoured at all. Same goes for the Guardians Carandum. 3 units of them. We've also got some Blackwatch Legion, just taking a quick look here at their armour. Yeah, no armor upgrades applied whatsoever. Bit of a gamble here, especially if you're on the attacking side. Usually you need that armor to assault or withstand all the arrows coming your way, javelins included. I mean, you need that armor just to really sort of get into or through your enemy's defenses without losing a lot of your army. So he's going to be relying heavily on his allies here today, I reckon. We've got here 2 units of Angmar Marauders, some Barrow-wights here, about 2 units, and some Trolls of Angmar, some Witches, which is probably worth like what, 10 units of Blackwatch Legion. Depends how he uses them. Defenders will be keep an eye out for them, of course. And best time to use them is after I suppose the defenders have used a lot of their ammo. So John here will need to be watching his allies and watching the defenders and just seeing their troops run low on ammunition. You know, watching the arch units expel all the arrows. Obviously they'll take the swords out when that happens. So. Well, best of luck to him. We have some Witron Hammerguard here, Witron Blackguard, generals in that unit. His ally is the Realm of Lindon, commanded by Y2K, another familiar veteran. He's got some Mython Marines here, 2 units of them. 2 units of Fallen Marines. Some Harder Infantry here, about 4 units there of them. Good cannon fodder, decent armor, can withstand a bit of pressure, I suppose, before collapsing. We have some Northern Guard here, 2 units, some Northern Blade Masters. Got some Mython Pikemen here, 2 units of them. Harlem Guard, 2 units. Good archer unit, not bad in melee either. Fairly reliable. All in all, pretty good army there from Lindon. We have here Umba, commanded by Darty Darth, who definitely has some good manpower here in this force. We've got some Harbingers of Casimir. He's got 2 units of Bellicate Axguard. 2 units of Bellicate Shield Bearers, which kind of act like Blackwatch Legion with their pushing ability. So, you know, remember that when you bring them. Because that's mainly what they're used for. They're not bad in melee either, but they are primarily used to push through enemies' defenses when it looks like you can't be able to. When it looks like your army won't be able to crack their defenses on their own, you need those kind of special units just to give you that edge to get you through without losing your army. We've got 4 units here of our Coronus Legion. We've got here some Bellica Footmen. Oh, jeez. Looks to be 2 units of Bellica Footmen. 2 units, of course, of Blackguards. We've got some Corsair Infantry, 3 units of them. It would make sense for them to charge these 3 units in front of the army, pretty much maybe in front of the whole attacking force. Try and draw the enemy fire if that's possible. These guys here have about 3 arrow volleys in them, then they become light tier infantry. Pretty good to suck up enemy ammo, so if you can goat your enemy into attacking these units, then do so, because you won't regret it, or the rest of your army will thank you. We have over here Harab, commanded by Diego Ria 8 Ramos. He's got here some Trollmen of Harad, Serpent's Fangs, Champions of Nufrat, 2 units total here of the Trolls, or Trollmen. We have 2 units here of Mulhard Warriors, 2 units of Mulhard Berserkers, Demons of the Desert, Body Piston Javelin unit. Pretty much their only equal is really the Witches of Angmar. They can just take down so many units before them with a good volley. We have here Mulhard Beast Hunters, 2 units there, decent Javelin unit. Some dismounted Swimmer Guard here, looks to be armoured up. We've got some Haradrim Spearmen mixed in with some Harad Pikemen, or Saffron Pikemen. Could be 3 units here of Pikes total, maybe 2 or 3 units of Haradrim Spearmen, some Saffron Warband as well. We have here out front some Haradrim Archers, looks to be 2 units there of them. Pretty much the same quality in terms of the Corsair infantry from Umbar. Over here we have Rohan, commanded by Mark. Interesting choice for an attacking army. We have Westmark Marshals, Riddermark Spearmen, some Riddermark Axemen there, 2 units, some Westmark Infantry, more Westmark Marshals, Riddermark Cavalry, not sure how he intends to use them. We have some Riddermark Archers, 2 units there, Harmengas, Medusal Guard, Eastmark Spearmen, 2 units there, Javelin unit. Shieldbands Rohan, one of the best axe throwing units in the game, or missile units I suppose in the game as well, because We've seen these maidens take out many a troop in the past. We had some Helm's Hammers as well. That's some muscle there of Rohan. And some Eastmark Horse Archers. Interesting cav choices, I suppose, for Rohan, if he was going to bring cav at all. I thought maybe try and bring the Arid of Alberg if that was possible, or maybe more light tier melee forces. Cav on this kind of map is possible to be effective, but given these are light tier cav units, I'm not really sure they have much of an impact, so might regret his choice later, we'll find out. Next we have the defenders. We have Numenor, given by Team Darkstar. He's got some Numerian cohort here, 3 units there of them. Some Numerian steel bows. We've got some Numerian shield guard there, 2 units. Belgar archers, 2 units, and more steel bows. AP archers and Numerian steel bows are always a reliable missile unit to bring in your army, I guarantee that. They're always good to target units like the Witches of Anglar or the Trollmen of Farad in particular. They fire with almost pinpoint accuracy. The only units that can do that with absolute perfection is units like the Watchers of the Golden Wood, Elders of the Elven King, and the God Helm Annuar. Those are 3 Elven factions where you can bring those particular units. But your AP Archer units are your next best thing, and the only other unit like that, I think, is Temple Inquisitors from Mordor. We have some Pharazim Nobles here, great unit in melee, and also a decent charge as well. Hopefully team can use that effectively, but if he charges that unit away from the rest of the army outside the walls and charges into an enemy army, he does risk them breaking. We've seen bloody hell. I'll repeat this till the day I die, I reckon. The Great Roacher will break at pretty much a full strength unit if you charge them into or nearby an enemy army by themselves. You are at least a 70% chance or greater of having them break on you before you even get a chance to use them. And they cost like 2,800 coins, so be very careful when you send cavalry units outside your defending walls. I can't stress that enough. Next we have more Axis units from Team Darkstar, some Belaga Pikemen, some Seafarers of Nindamos, some Naru and Royal Guard, Sentinels, Royal Legion of Amenalos, Pharazim Swordmasters, and Numerian Shield Guard. Okay, over here we have Dol Amroth, given by Hurt Tamuhai. Got some Arathrim of Dol Amroth. And over here we got some, well, so many units here mixed in. Some dismounted Knights of the Silver Swan, Haven Guard, more dismounted Knights. About 2 or 3 units of the Belfast Marines. I'm going to say 2 units. We have a Catapult. We got some Dornell Pikemen here armoured up. We have some Imperial Champions, some Tonostian Spearmen, good holding unit, not bad in fighting. What else we got? Jeez, it's kind of hard to see. We've got some Tyranid Marksmen also embedded in here. Could be 2 units of them as well. Up on the walls we have some Dornell Archers, 2 units. It looks like the Lamrothi has applied all the armor upgrades where he can. We got here some Hammers of Good to Bad belonging to Khazad-dûm, commanded by Daddy Mac. A new player I think I've seen. We got here some Hammers of Good to Bad, as I said. Warriors of Khazad-dûm over here, 2 units. 3rd Legion Infantry. We've got here some more 3rd Legion Infantry. All kinds of Khazad-dûm here. Just your basic archer unit. There used to be an armor upgrade you could apply to these guys. I don't know if you can still do that. I don't think you could. We got here some Hammers of Gundabad. Probably you can because they look armed today. We've got some 3rd Legion Infantry here. 2 units of 2nd Legion Axe Guard. 4th Legion Shield Guard here. 2 units. Some Legion Bodyguard. Guards of Khazad-dûm. And up here we have some Khazad-dûm Reclaimers. They are axe throwers. Fire at a much slower rate compared to pretty much any other axe throwing unit in this game. But they do pack a punch. But also try to make sure they're not under heavy fire when you're using them. Because as I said, they fire a lot slower compared to the Shieldman's Rohan. And also the Witch from Scourge Guard from Angmar. They've got the dreaded Iron Witch of Mirmir, which is worth the equivalent of, I don't know, maybe 10 catapults. In terms of their effectiveness, they are probably the best artillery unit in this game. And certainly beat any artillery piece available. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get into the fight. Enjoy. Alright guys, we are underway. We saw a preliminary charge here from the Arathrim. Only up against light tier troops like the Belega Footmen, a head-on charge, the Arathrim should still be able to smash them. Of Horse infantry, of course, stands no chance against them whatsoever. But yeah, Hurt can keep this up all day long until the unit's depleted entirely. You should be able to get through this bunch at least. I mean, these are free kills, easy pickings for his cavalry. Should be able to do some real damage there. I heard the elves maybe firing a volley. The Orc Hunters were firing. Looks like the fallen Marines are out of javelins. They were throwing a few javies in here. They took out about 12 shield guard. Y2K needs to save his javelins for the more heavier troops later on, but those javelins definitely did soften up this first unit of his. But then Daddy Mac left them there for that very reason, so... You know, too soon to tell, but both players have their strategies, and both of them are letting them play out right now. Over here, looks like we've got a battle on the land bridge. We've got some Neuron cohorts. We've also got some Belaga archers firing in. Shield guard probably should be in loose formation. That's not loose. Shield wall formation, especially if the Helmingas are firing on them right now. Being in loose formation like this just makes it easier for the Helmingas to damage them and get kills on them. And those javelins coming in right now, I think, yeah, shield guard would be far better served in shield wall formation. Or at least sent into the fight so the javelins couldn't easily hit them. This is unnecessary, this death, this shield guard unit here. There's no need for teams just to throw them away. You can't deny his opponent the ability to use his javelins. And he should. He shouldn't be offering them as a sacrifice. But the shield guard, the cohort will be able to hold for some time against these Ridmark troops. The Numerian forces here, they're far more heavily armoured, have a greater attack as well, so they can take more hits, deal more damage. And they can stand up against the light troops for some time, so, you know, the team will get his money's worth out of this unit at the very least. Firing on Ridmark archers with their own, makes sense, I mean, trying to release some pressure on their own forces, I guess. The shield guard units coming back in, should have already been sent into the fight. They're running. They're trying to get in here. $65. They lost almost 30 before they saw any action. Down to 32 now. They're trying to overwhelm their defences. If team wants to hold this position, he's got to send up another unit. He's got Belaga archers. The Belaga archers should probably be firing at the Helmingas, since the Helmingas have the angle on his forces right here. They've got to try and push those Helmingas back, put a bit of pressure on them. Those Belaga archers can do that. They can provide cover for his front line, which is what he should be thinking about right here. The way this is unfolding, he's really shooting himself in the foot here, team. He's got to either commit and try and push the enemy back, or he's just got to fall back right now, because this is a losing fight for him right here. That's his second year here of Eastmark experiment, so Rohan's almost out of javelins, minus the Medusa guard, of course. Go and check out the other choke point. Okay, we've got more Marines coming in, but these guys here, they've already used their javelins. This is probably the unit we saw earlier. We see this a lot, actually. What attackers will do here is try and draw out the defenders just enough so their troops can hit them from the side, which is what looks like the Mythical Marines did to these guys, and that's probably why Khazad-dûm lost so many men here, whereas we don't see too many elves. They successfully drew that unit out just enough for these guys to get a good shot into them. These guys here, they're down to half strength. Mythical Marines, they're trying to get an angle here on either that shield guard unit there or the Warriors Khazad-dûm. They're going after the Warriors mainly because they're healthy. They haven't lost any troops or suffered any damage yet. So we've got Y2K here just sort of trying to poke holes in the enemy's defenses. So he can later sift through those holes and then get to the enemy's general and kill him. Going after the shield guard there. You know, Y2K's got 4 units, these javelin units. And the attackers definitely did size up their enemy well. They're allocating the factions which can definitely deal more damage to the more heavily armored units. Like, Lindon doesn't have a lot of armor themselves, but they do have the most the most missile units, the most javelins units, more than any other faction at least. And so they can do some serious damage there to Khazad-dûm without actually fighting. That's probably the purpose of the Harlandon infantry, to try and hold those dwarves in place while the javelin units work their magic. And it also enables Angmar to hold their witches back and save them for later on in the fight, where they might have the direct angle or the better angle on the more elite troops, so they can take them out without losing too many of their own. Same goes for the Demons of the Desert as well. Right now the attackers need to somehow put a lot of pressure on the defenders need to put a lot of pressure on the attackers to force them to commit those units sooner than they would like, when the defenders have more missile units to actually bring them down before they have a chance to have really any impact on this battle. That's what the defenders need to be thinking. They've got to be trying to isolate those 2 units and prevent the enemy from using them, because those are the ones that are the game changers for the attackers. We've got some troops seeping through the Golden Emerald defense. We don't have any units rushing into muck them up, and that's what we should be seeing here. Maybe even a couple of volleys from Tyr at that marksman just to put some pressure on them. The Arathrim should be the unit to actually take these guys out. No charge, no time to do a charge there. Those Arathrim need to take out these Marauders before those Marauders get into their catapult. He's charging into the enemy line. Not the best idea. Just because I'm only saying that because you got the Arathrim here. There weren't any melee troops charging before. The Marauders wouldn't have had time to do any real damage to this backline before they broke like that. They probably should have been sent against the catapults since they decided to break through the enemy line. So it's a little bit of an error that John paid for there. Of course, the M3 fire coming in. Glenroth can weather that storm for a while. Numenor is being pushed back. Now, what I didn't see Team Darkstar have before is the Adunium Shadowbows. Does he have any? It doesn't look like it, which is a bit unfortunate. And if he didn't bring them at all, he did bring them. They're right there. Team Darkstar, the Adunium Shadowbows right here. 1 or 2 volleys would have wiped out this attack straight away. Saved a lot of pressure on his forces, a lot of damage on his forces, and prevented a lot of casualties as well. The fact that he's not using them right now to get rid of these crappy units is a little bit weird, since they do a lot more damage to the light tier and mid tier forces than they would to the heavier tier troops. And plus, this takes a huge body of units away from the attackers, and you would only need 2 or 3 volleys to really have the effect that you want on a force like this. So that's another error there from Team Darkstar. Hopefully it doesn't cost him. But this would be the moment to use the dim shadow bows just for a little bit on this force here. See, some players, when they commit units, they commit them all the way until they run out of ammunition. You don't have to do that. You can use your units for a few volleys, save them, use them again, save them, use them again. People need to get out of that mindset of just committing units all the way until they run out. More often than not, we see players that are more conservative with their ammunition have far more effect on the battle, get far more kills than they would otherwise if they just fight until they ran out. Now we've got some steel bow fire coming in. Big mistake. Should not be using them because these are light tiered troops. Basically, the bonus of these forces with the armor piercing arrows are negated. They're wasted on these units because there's no armor to really pierce. Even the belly archers I wouldn't use on these guys. I'd use a couple of those dim shadow bows, then move my shadow bows away and save them for the next enemy mass push, you know? See if Raz and Moss moving up. What are they firing into? Probably save my javelins for enemy infantry and use my Belgar archers on my beast hunters, I reckon. Would have been the way to go. Firing fire arrows, definitely a good idea on light tier forces. They tend to break faster when it comes to fire ammunition. Alright, what's going on over here? The shadow bows are either being moved on or they're hidden right now. How's John going? We've got a lot of enemy forces here. If the Witch's Ring Mark can get a shot in, I would try and target the 30s infantry here. Because that would basically take out the body of the defending forces because they're all mainly packed in the centre anyway. A nice volley from the Witches would destroy this defence and the floodgates would just be open for the attackers to roll in through this one. And that could be the cataclysm that gives them victory and just annihilates the defenders. If you're going to be bobbing troops, you've got to be watching this fight. I mean, if you're the player, if you're Dolameroth, if you're hurt, then you need to be glued to this position right now. You can't really be afford to look anywhere else because you've got so many troops in one space with witches you know are out there. I'm very afraid for Herd right now. And John should be hungrily looking for his ability to strike right now with them. Wardens vs. Tyrion don't really have the angle on the forces here, so I'm not too concerned about them at all. You've got the defenders trying to take him out, but as you can see here, they're pretty much missing 100%. You've got to stop. You've got to be looking where you guys are firing, and once you realise that you're wasting the arrows, you just got to stop. Look, in the absence of the witches, this is a solid defense, and the attackers are not getting through this at all. At least not anytime soon. Bit of a gamble to fire a catapult. Oh, shoot! Oh, that was bad to watch. That was hard to watch, mate. And that was Hurt, so at least Hurt would be upset with his teammates right now. You got to have that cohesion in your team to really achieve victory. But he would be kicking himself for killing a lot of his own forces there. If you're going to make a mistake like that, at least you make it to yourself. That's all I can say. We're also going to win this fight. You can see the others is being pushed back, slowly being cut down like they'd seen in 300. And the guys are just marching over the light tier Persians as they cut them down. It's just like watching that, but in slow motion. Okay, what else does Lyndon have in his arsenal? If the Marines with javelins still. He's got one unit of them, some big one pikemen, Harlow infantry. Fairly good units here. Can pack a punch, can do some good damage. Northern Guard, definitely the muscle of his force, and Blade Masters. 2 units of Harlow infantry left, so Lyndon by no means out of this fight yet, but he'll have to wait for his allies to have more of an impact before he really commits those forces. If he commits too soon, Khazad-dûm will just wipe him out. So he'll take more of a back seat role for the time being. Is it just me, or do we see a lot more dead forces here than before? I'm not seeing any charred corpses. I'm seeing mostly enemy dead here, so it's possible that Delamar just pulled some units back. And it's just in that picture of mass death. But the guys come boom charging in. Javelins being fired. Good time to use them, especially when we've got those kind of forces running in. I'm seeing Corsair back guards. I'm not seeing the witches anywhere nearby, which makes me think they weren't committed yet. And then again, I don't see them. Oh, they're all the way back there, so yeah, they weren't used yet. I might have thought that Delamar got his ass handed to him there for a second, but I don't think so now. So we've got some Trollman and Farad. So we got Diego committing some more serious forces here. That's his second elite tier troop. His best obviously is champions. But the fact that he's committing one of these units already, we're only halfway through this fight. But he feels he must use them to keep this attack alive, so he's trying to strengthen it a bit. Again, where are the Adunian Shadowbows? Do they have ammunition at this point? They should be being used here. They can easily take out the flanks and allow the defenders to more focus on the centre, which is where the attackers are applying the most pressure right now. Look, a Balaga Pike moving in, that can definitely show up his right flank, which he definitely needs to, because it is looking razor thin right now. He's short up to the left flank, but there's so much pressure being put on the centre here. This is going to fall in seconds if he doesn't do something. Okay, we've got the Shadowbows firing. Looks like they're firing on the right flank. There you go. They might be firing on the shield mans of Rohan. And they're taking out most of the Balaga pikemen. We've got javelins too coming in from URB hunters, so the attackers are annihilating these Balaga pikemen. Adunian Shadowbows probably should focus on the centre. That way when the attackers try and swarm over them, they have to go through that point, so he stands the most chance of hitting as many units as possible. Come on, charge out through for the Trollman of Farad, they're right there. But Hurt's also busy fighting in battle elsewhere too, so he's got his focus diverted, so he probably doesn't see this right now, which is very unlucky for him. But this is where teams should be communicating with Hurt and telling him to send in his Aerothrim, because now they just got attacked by the Southern Warband. Their ability to charge in just got negated entirely, but they have no space now to charge. So we're seeing a big breakdown in communication between the defending forces, which is not good. Come on, is Hurt asleep? He's got to get these Aerothrim out of there. Daddy, someone should be talking to him. Now he's moving, that's good. Okay, Trials of Angmar coming in. Got the troops to handle them. Okay, we also got the shield bearers pushing their way through. As you can see, the defense has crumbled. He's caught Hurt on the back foot here. He wasn't prepared for that. Now he's forced to scramble. But a nicely fired catapult shot definitely helped there. Did it break him? No. Oh, yep, it broke him. It broke him at 63. Unlucky there to Darky Dark for that. Battle was swinging his way. He did have Hurt scramble. Oh, come on. Way too dangerous. With your Haven Guard right there, man. Oh, okay. Hurt got lucky there. But flirting with death, I tell you what. With his best unit as well. What was that? No, Daddy, do not be. You shouldn't be firing those. If you're firing those Iron Warts right there, that's insane. Your teammate has his best unit on the front lines there, and you're firing your Iron Watch so close to him. Not a good idea at all. Dorian Archer's coming in. How's he doing over here? He should be doing alright. Yeah, not much has changed. He's committed the Legion Bodyguard. That's a bit risky. Nithon Pikemen, Home Infantry. Okay, no Javelin units left. I noticed that the Nelvern Guard's gone. It might have been recommitted to the centre. Alright, I'll take that back. In the absence of no Javelin units, putting the Legion Bodyguard in, I suppose, makes sense. Because they can deal with pretty much anything on their own. They got some support there, which just helps them take less damage overall.
Only half our force remains.
Here comes an Eldarin Guard. Hey, what? Catapult's definitely stepping up their game. Got off to a very shaky start earlier. We're seeing some nice volleys coming in from them now. Oh, yes. Taking out a chunk of the Wardens is what you want. Alright, defense is collapsing. Dol Amroth is scrambling. Trolls of Angmar just trying to pick off all the stragglers. Or at least as many as they can. Rohan is through. We got here Daddy Mac with some Khazad-dûm Warrior 2nd Legion Axe Guard to defend this choke point. Some Heavy Archers and Berserkers coming up. What the defenders have here to deter the demons if they were to charge. Khazad-dûm Reclaimers look like they've used up all their axes here. The guards Khazad-dûm there. Shadowbows. Shadowbows can do the job. Looks like all the Orc Hunters have used their ammunition. But the Wanderers on the model get to use their ammo, it would seem. They can be used later on if the enemy tries to push up their choke point. So, trying to take out the Bellica shield bearers, or at least weaken them. This is the same unit that broke before. They must be. They must have returned. And save your ammo, guys. save their ammo. And save the catapult too. Alright, it looks like we're due for a small break while the enemy tries to, well, the attackers maneuver themselves around to figure out how they're going to approach this and try and summit the hill. So do a small cut, guys, and head back soon. Alright guys, we're back because we're at the back of shield bearers going after the enemy catapult. That left them exposed. Well, Darth. No, he went after the catapult, so you can't blame me for that. Got a lot of troops streaming in here. Jeez, I'd be tempted to fire 1 or 2 volleys just to sort of do a bit of damage if they're going to clump themselves up like that. Still time. Too late. The opportunity's gone. The wardens line themselves up here. Probably we're firing into 1 volley into them. Or at very least fire into them with the Dorinal archers. Remember, these guys are body piercing and they still have the numbers to make an impact. Bit of a mistake to let them just walk by without shooting them. We've got reclaimers here. Can he fire into the Trollman off ride? He should. Okay, they're reloading. Hit the Marines, come on! The Trollman of Iran, you fire into the Trollman. Not the Mython Marines, the Trolls. Oh man. Not what I would have done. That's all I can really say. Second Edition Axe Guard, First Edition Pikeman. They can handle that. Westmark infantry, charge them down with the arrow through him. Bit too much waiting on the defender's part. They don't need to stay on the back foot all the time. They can take the offensive. It is 66 to 65 still, pretty even. Look at how they'll have it lined up like this. If he can somehow, he could, right now, Team Darkstar, if he has the Adunium Shadowbows, he can line them up on this ledge right now, shoot volley after volley into that row of enemy forces here, take out pretty much all Darth and John have to offer, and negate this attack on this side of the fortress. You know, he'd have to be sneaky about it, or just move and pray the enemy doesn't notice, but that's all the units then to move. And even if they try to get out of there, you've got a huge mass force of troops moving all together away in the same direction, pretty much. The Adunium Shadowbows can still be effective here. This was the golden moment, I reckon, that the Adunium Shadowbows had been waiting for or could have been used. Or even the Wanderers in the model here could be used in the same manner. That is the target. That is the shot right there. Hindsight's 2020, I know, guys. We'd all do things differently after a battle. But there's a ledge there, and if in the future, if an attacking force is going to do that to you and you still have ranging units, then punish the hell out of them for that, if they do that again. Got the Medusa Guard here going up against 2nd Legion Axe Guard, Royal Legion Warlords, 1st Legion Pikes, or what's left of them. I'd say it's most of them, 2/3 at least. That battle definitely favours the defenders. We've got a few enemy arrows coming in, but they're hitting their own troops as well in the back of the Medusa Guard. So this fight doesn't make a whole lot of sense on Rohan's part. He shouldn't be committing some of his best melee forces on their own. Not up against a superior force anyway. So a win there for the defenders, you can call that for sure. Demons of the Desert moving up. Royal Guard should be activated. Guards of Khazad-dûm should not be brought in. What are they doing? Where is the melee forces? We've got Reclaimers, we've got Royal Guard from team not moving in. We just have melee forces. We've got no missile units here on the defenders' side. None. Haven Guard being brought up. No, keep them far away. Guards of Khazad-dûm completely exposed to the demons of the desert. Get out of there, mate. Mark, yep. Oh, Mark is in the way of his ally. They're firing in now, but it's going to be way too late. It doesn't... Oh no. No, get out. Oh, God. Oh, no. There are 3 entry points up to this fortress. You should just have 1 player guarding each choke point. This is one of the biggest weaknesses when it comes to microing. Especially if your teammates don't communicate to which enemy units are approaching on which side. You've got to be watching out for them. You've got to be talking to each other. Either talk or text. You can type to each other in the battle. The Guards of Khazad-dûm wasted there, unfortunately, for Daddy. Didn't get any real use out of them. Still, 70% to 70%. The RFM just not getting the charge today. Troops are firing in now, but what's done is done, damage is done. And don't forget, the Dems still have ammunition. And now they're going to take out the rest of the Dwarven line. The Atherin need to get in their ranks and stop them from firing. I think Hurt saved his ass there. The arrows are doing damage to the demons, sure, but not killing them fast enough. What saved them just now was the arrow through. Careful, Hurt. Don't get caught out. Oh no. Demons will turn around and get a shot. Don't! Get out of there. Learn the lesson. Don't repeat history. Too late. We're going to see a lot of troops die now. Oh no, they didn't fire into them. It looks like they were firing into maybe the doors Khazad-dûm. Could be a mistake. It doesn't matter here. Daddy just got given the gift of time to get his troops to safety or get him out of there. But he's not going to take it. '71 to 72. You got Diego. He's hunting for that angle. He wants that angle. And he got it.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Not going too well there for the defenders on this side. Over here they're looking strong. No, no one's firing into them on that ledge. We got some hammers are good about down here, just isolated it in the line. Daddy max attention's on the other choke point probably, but yeah, that stuff happens all the time. It happens to me, so you know. Marking is a curse to all players. Can't hold that against Daddy at all, without being a giant hypocrite myself. He's going to fire the Iron Watch. His target should be the Trollman of Farad, based on their current position. He can take out a lot of enemy troops. Moving in closer. Reclaim's getting a good shot there in the body of the troops, but we've got some berserkers, light tier forces. We got left 74 to 76, still very close. This battle didn't need to be this close. Defenders, with the troops they have, they could have easily repelled the enemy forces, I reckon. Just didn't have the right places, the right troops in the right places at the time. And those demons did a number on Daddy Max Army for sure. A little bit of a strange choice of target. I mean, paid off, I suppose. That's where most of his own troops were. Targeting this troll unit is probably the way to go. There's hardly any of his own men around. They're mainly just in the one position. And Iron Watch and Mimir also have a good line of sight on them. So they'd be a good one to target. But he's not going to fire on them. Again, I think that's an error there. Unless Danny Max have ammunition, in which case, well, no choice but to commit them to the fight. Oh, 76 to 79. Why is he lining them up like that? Southern Warband, Helm's Hammers. Well, maybe the attackers should just commit everything on this side right now. Assuming the Iron Watch doesn't have any ammunition left, which obviously it looks like they don't. Okay, so that's why I didn't fire again. Alright, that's not an error. Take back what I said before there, Daddy. No error there on your part. If you're out of ammo, you're out of ammo. So, just unlucky, I guess. Trying to get past the mighty Numenor. The claimers look like they're trying to redeploy to shore up their left flank, which the Rohan's trying to breach. Now, this defense for the defenders is looking pretty strong, solid. I don't think the attackers didn't get through that anytime soon. Medium Shadowbows out of ammunition. Youthful Guard being charged in. Okay. Defenders need to shut down this push immediately. The attackers probably going to lose this fight with what they have, but they should take full advantage of the open window and charge straight into the backs of the defending forces and try and help out their brothers Rohan and Harad on that side. Sergeant and Northern Blade Masters even. Just sacrifice the rest of these troops to buy them time. But that's the move right now for Y2K. And it looks like he's going to take it. So he sees the opportunity. He's going to say, oh no, he's not going to take it. He's going to charge to try and hold up this. Y2K probably should have committed his Northern Blade Masters to the backs of those forces, because even if Daddy sent forces from that line, or Numenor sent forces from that line to challenge them, there's fewer troops Harad and Rohan have to deal with, and they can fight through and break through, I suppose, more easily than they could otherwise, with all the defending forces currently fighting. Why is team redeploying the Pharazim Swordmasters? No need for that. Blackwatch Legion down to 35. They're not too much of a threat anymore. The forces here can hold them, I'd say. Now, those Swordmasters were needed to help the Mithril Guard on that side, not redeployed. And they've been recommitted, that's good to see.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Yeah, Daddy Mac really needed him back there, for sure. They're going to sandwich these Lindon forces, and then they'll deal with the Northern Blade Masters afterwards. But Numenor just lost their general. Still got most of the Pharazim Swordmasters in play though. The general must have been in the Shield Guard unit. An odd choice. $85 to $90. Yeah. Oh, the attackers broke through on this side. Iron Watch down to 11. Still got some Numenor forces here as well.
The battle is very much in our favor.
So the attackers did suffer heavy losses just getting through here. The Helm's Hammers definitely tipped the scale in their favour. And the demons still have ammunition, surprisingly. They fired a few javelins there, but they hit their own forces as well. Nearly done there. The attackers somehow sifted their way through with the Black Guard and the bulk of the Axe Guard as well. The Haven Guard's trying to hold them back. Harvesters of Casimir being moved up. Still very tight. Oh, very nice. But it's fired into low tier forces. Okay, they killed the Khazad-dûm general, but that won't really make too much of an impact. John had the defenders here. He could have fired down the line.
If we
Taking
continue like this,
out pretty much all of them.
smash the enemy.
Where are they going? They're moving to take out the Pharazim Swordmasters and the Mithril Guard. Swordmasters moving in. Which is to get a volley off though. But not the volley they were hoping for, jeez. That didn't work out well for them at all. Nicely done there, team. You got a bit lucky there with that volley. I think John would be scratching his head right now thinking, what the hell? That volley was really lame. We left them in the fight, so maybe they're out of ammunition. Maybe that's why it wasn't a full volley. The attackers have got this. I think we're going to see the last of the troops die here. There's still one witch is still alive. And that is it. So congratulations to John and his team on their victory. John got 732 kills, Mark 982, Diego 1001, Darthy Duff 552, Y2K 1141. That's pretty impressive considering he was up against mostly Khazad-dûm to start with. Daddy Mac 1910, Hurt Tummy High 2681, and Team Darkstar 2521. Okay, Witches of Angmar here 102, not the best there for Witches. Trolls of Angmar 140, Witch on Pike 100, and those were the standouts for his team. So, well done to the attackers on their victory today. I do think if, obviously, the defenders had used some of the body piercing units at more key moments of that battle, then that fight could have easily gone their way. Just unlucky to them, but live and learn. And thank you to John once again for sending me the replay. This is Scoutman Talent signing off. Goodbye, my fellow Total War players. Catch you all in the next battle.